Anyone out there at all tired of the agenda-driven politicians just blabbing to us and going on, same thing day in and day out? Well, who better to hear from than the people who actually pay the bills and see what's happening on a daily basis. Last night in Nashville at the Grand Ole Opry House, Raymond and I had the chance to talk to some of these voters. So what's their main concern? Joe Biden.
It's not just the number of the age being 81, it's the mental acuity of the person. He is not mentally capable of doing the job.
He wasn't in 2020, remember, and he still won. Yeah. You know, he still won because, you know, again, there's a lot of factors that come into play, but you know, he's not going to run a campaign. They've already said he's not going to campaign. The media will campaign for him. That's what's going to happen. And Obama and Michelle and all the rest.
I think one of the things that we have to look at as Republicans is what are we going to do to be getting out the vote? The Democrat kills us every major election because they are so successful at registering voters. The Republicans are falling behind in that effort. And the polls, the numbers look great, but every time we start counting the votes, I get disappointed and concerned because we don't have those votes.
Well, state parties are responsible for getting out the vote. So state Republican parties, I have to, you know, I mean, it's not rocket science. I mean, we have the data. It's micro-targeting of voters. You know how people voted over the last 4 election cycles, and most micro-targeting. It's actually going to their house. Do you have your ballot? Have you turned it in? You know, let's go mail it. We'll get you to the polls. I mean, it requires, frankly, all Americans who have a little bit of time to, frankly, get involved. We want to ask people who they want to be the next president of the United States, of the people who are possibilities, okay, who are out there, possibilities. Raise your hands if you're for Donald Trump. Very, very good. There's a few people who aren't in the front.
Few holdouts.
Few holdouts. You're not 100%. DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis. Oh.
There's a clap.
Two hands and a clap.
1, 2,
okay.
3.
Joseph Biden.
Oh, come on.
Not even a wheeze.
How about Nikki Haley? Yes. A lot of people are looking at Nikki Haley now. How about Nikki Haley?
Show of hands. Nikki Haley.
There's half a hand.
Laura, yeah, I like that.
I love this.
They did this that's a kind of weak half a hand, maybe not. I'm still deciding. So that was interesting.
The angle has offered our show as a platform for Nikki Haley to debate Ron DeSantis. Do we want to settle this once and for all? There has to be Trump versus someone else. So that's why I think a real substantive debate, maybe no moderator, just Nikki Haley versus DeSantis. I think that would be awesome because it's the populist, kind of America First populist, versus a more traditional Republican, more globalist in some views, not everything, but it's more of a traditionalist versus a populist conservative. I think, to me, that's a beautiful thing. And Ron DeSantis said he would do it. Did all of you enjoy seeing President Biden with King Xi in San Francisco? Did you enjoy those moments where we actually, he really kind of spruces up really nicely when he meets his boss, don't you think?
Well, the town was sparkling.
Yeah, clean as you could eat off the floor in the subway station.
Yeah, no droppings on the street.
Yeah, the BART was all clean.
Yeah.
All right, here's what Biden had to say about Governor Gavin Newsom. Watch this.
I want to talk about Governor Newsom. I want to thank him. He's been one hell of a governor, man. Matter of fact, he could do anything you want. He could have the job I'm looking for.
Well, at this point, he might. Here's my question. Should Biden drop out of the race at this point? Yes. Round of applause.
Yes. No, you want to run again.
Why? Why should he drop out?
Biden, quite obviously, is no way up to the job, right? And so it's very clear, and the most powerful country in the world that's going downhill in incredible ways, there's no way that guy should continue to lead this country.
The anxiety of working people, middle class, even a little upper middle class, is growing in the United States. How many of you have changed your plans, vacation plans, travel plans, because of financial concerns over the past 18 months, 2 years.
We're just not going to take any vacations that are utilize our money. We're putting it away and waiting for that rainy day because I'm afraid it's going to happen. We own a business. We're doing the same thing with it. You know, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I just know that, you know, 4 years ago, before this, we've done better than we ever have, and now that 4 years is gone. I mean, I'm back to where I was 4 years ago, you know, when we had Trump in office. And so we're just going to hold on and hopefully see a new president come in.
I think it's more than changing their vacation plans. I think it's we are blessed, but I come from working class family, and I changed the way I shop for my groceries and where I shop for my groceries and where I put gas in my car.
It's a better question.
Yeah, and I think that's the part that hurts everybody. Everybody feels it, almost regardless of what economic, status you live in.
Just those day-to-day decisions.
Yeah,
You know, we all feel it. I mean, right? A gallon of milk. I mean, everything.
Everything.
I mean,
Insurance and I mean, it's every part of your life.
I think we were talking the other day, Raymond and I said if I were running for office, the number one thing I would say on a national basis, I would say, by the time I get through with my presidency, gas is going to be a lot closer to $2.30 a gallon again. I think just running on energy, the energy issue itself is just so powerful.
Well, and crime.
And crime.
Crime is
Shut
out of
down the
control.
border, get gas prices low, get independent, more American manufacturing.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.